Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hartford Whalers Expansion Franchise here on NHL 24. We're taking on the New York Rangers here with playoff implications on the line, maybe even home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs, as Mika Zibanejad off the opening faceoff, a forehand shot there, blockered into the corner by Yaroslav Askarov. Zibanejad then steals it, and then will be forced to reset as that was forced out of the zone. Now for Artemi Panarin, back for K'Andre Miller. Now up against Panarin, back for Zibanejad in the slot, blocked in traffic, back for Adam Fox, a rip, and that was hit his own man, some friendly fire there, as Hartford able to avert those early chances from the Rangers. Now Mark Scheifele bringing it in, as the Whalers leading the Rangers right now by 2 points for the second seed right now in the Metro Division. It looks like we're more than likely going to have a first-round series against the Rangers, so a little preview here in a late regular season matchup. K'Andre Miller tried a centering pass, but Sami Maki mugging him there, although Miller does get it back now for Alexis Lafreniere. Now for Kevin LeBlanc, back for Adam Fox, a rip and blockered away again by Askarov. Adam Fox second among defensemen this season in points with 74 entering this one, just behind Cale Makar, in a rip there from the slot off a good feed from LeBlanc behind the net. Lafreniere was robbed there from Yaroslav Askarov. Some quality chances early on for the Rangers, as now K'Andre Miller back with it, lugging that one over for Adam Fox. Now up for Philip Hedl. Provorov, good defense there, but Hedl does get it back. Spins away, now back to the point for Lindgren. Now for Lafreniere, a shot blocked by Besser, and that one hurt. We love the selfless play. Provorov now trying to reset, turns it over for Sharon Govich, and then he turns it over to Leo Carlsson. Crisis averted for now as Lafreniere still with it, a forehand shot, and he will bury that. Beats the glove of Yaroslav Askarov just over 5 minutes into this game. Lafreniere gets the goal, and the Rangers so much pressure early on. That one his 19th of the season, and the Rangers have had all the pressure so far. That one beats the glove of Askarov. As we said, Provorov not able to be as assertive as he needed to be there defensively, and Andrew Peeke just sitting back a little too much, as the Rangers got all the momentum, all the pressure so far, and we have some work to do already, trailing 1-0. Carlson there on the draw beats Blake Lizotte, as we'll try to get this one back. Lindgren, though, does take it away there from Brock Besser, as he goes over for Matthias Smid, and Smid, number 89 here, an 18-year-old defenseman, was drafted 31st overall or 29th overall in this past draft, and has already made his way to the show here in the NHL. He is actually now on the ice here with Ryan Lindgren, and Smid is the only new addition to the Rangers defense over the course of this franchise, as Blake Lizotte tried to sneak in but was hit to the ice, and now a delayed penalty as Hartford trying to rush, but Lindgren will freeze that one, or get the stoppage that is, as Pierre Engvall go into the box for interference. And as I was saying, the Rangers still, their defense has remained intact over the course of this franchise. Still Adam Fox, K'Andre Miller, Lindgren, Schneider, and also Matthias Smid, who I talked about. Now off the face-off, Brandon Montour's shot was blocked, as Trocheck does not get the clear. Gurianov able to keep it in, although it eventually skids out, and Hartford will have to reset. But the goaltender here is not even Igor Shesterkin. He signed a big contract with Calgary a few years back, and it's now Adin Hill, who actually comes off a Vezina trophy. But I think in this game, it's Jet Greaves, the backup, as the Whalers nothing doing so far on this power play. And Jacob Trouba, the sixth defender there that I did not name when I was listing him off. Now a minute into this power play, Gurianov leading a charge now for Mangiapane, and a good defensive play there. I think that was Trocheck just bullying the Whalers here on this penalty kill, as Montour working towards the net now for Razovic in front for Montour, and he couldn't handle it. And still no shots to show for our efforts so far on this power play. I don't think any shots in this game altogether for Hartford yet. As now Lazar back for Bachvist, as he turns it over for Razovic, as Montour will give up for Rust. A rush now for the final 10 seconds. Jack Razovic, a shot, and that's saved by Jet Greaves. Greaves, as the backup this year for the Rangers, is 14-6, a save percentage of .926, and a goals against of .206 with 4 shutouts. That's 4 shutouts and 20 starts. You gotta love that ratio, along with the save percentage and goals against. His numbers are off the charts. And that one robbed Gabriel Landeskog. Go get a rip off the face-off, but Jet Greaves with the glove, as that will kill the penalty. And you see there the numbers. Adam Fox, 74 points, as I said, second among defensemen, behind only Cale Makar. Fox and Makar have split the 4 Norris trophies so far over the course of this franchise. Another offensive zone draw win there for Hartford, but the Rangers do get it back. Adam Fox now will get that to Philip Hedl. Now back for Fox. So give up for Sharangovich for Lafreniere. As Philip Zadina will pick that up, although turns it over back for Lafreniere in the slot, and that time not going to beat the glove as Askarov catches that one. Now a face-off to the right of Askarov, 10:27 left in this first period. Brandon Montour takes it off the wing, gives up for Landeskog. Landeskog into the zone. Centering pass there for Maki. As Maki ends up with it, he does get a nice backhand chance save by Jet Greaves. Scheifele keeps it in the zone, back for Maki. As he'll get for Scheifele, poked away, picked up by Maki again. Back for Scheifele, in front of shot. Blocker saved by Greaves. Picked up by Fox now for Keandre Miller. Miller and Fox make up one of the best defensive pairings in all of the NHL. Sharangovich on the deke there, tried backdoor, and he was denied by Askarov. Now Miller, a shot was blocked, and Hedl able to get a weak backhand chance in front, and Askarov freezes that one. As I touched on earlier, though, we're 2 points ahead of the Rangers right now for the second seed in the Metro, and behind the Rangers are the Carolina Hurricanes. We're 4 points up on them. The Rangers 2 points up on them, so very close here to end this season. Guryanov try to work that in front, a weak shot there towards the net. Now 7:57, our fourth line out there for the first time. Cole Sillinger wins that peak for Parole, and he could not get a shot as Kevin LeBlanc will give that up for Panarin. Panarin trying to work that in as Schneider could not hang on, and Guryanov will take that. Guryanov gets that over for Cole Sillinger, as he now goes for Parole. Parole towards the net, and he turns that over again to LeBlanc, as Schneider will take that up and out of the zone. All the way into Hartford territory now, as he centers that, but picked off by Sillinger, and Guryanov gets over to get it, as he will give now for Parole. Parole hit off the puck there, good hit by Zibanejad, but Peak able to recover. A bounce pass now for Guryanov, but that goes just offside. 9 faceoffs to nothing, although the Rangers finally get that one. Again, the announcer curse probably, or the announcer jinx probably on display. There's Trocheck, a shot, glove saved by Askarov. And this is game 76 of this Year 5 season, so we'll see where we stand. We'll probably sim ahead a couple games, and depending on how the standings are shaping up, we might even simulate the entirety of the regular season after this full contest. Less than 5 minutes now left in the first, and Razovic stealing that on the forecheck as Mangiapane is shot, as that's blockered away. Now along the boards as the Rangers will just clear that all the way down. Askarov will freeze it. I think you'll take that if you're the Rangers, not an icing, but instead you get the offensive zone draw as Bachvist does win that, lingering now for Mason Shaw as he's overtaken Tom Wilson. Back the other way now. Wilson into the zone. Back now for Graves in front for Wilson, as he could not get really a shot off. Greaves freezes that. Now Leo Carlson out there, second line against second line as he gets the advantage there. Ryan Graves tried to give over for Spence, but he couldn't handle it. And now Lindgren past center ice, now gives up for Lafreniere, back for Hedl, and he's hit down to the ice now. Sharangovich, as Brian Rust able to get that out of harm's way, as Carlson will dump it in, gives chase, working there against Matthias Smid. As I said, the 18-year-old, his rookie season, up to 20 points now. Sharangovich now over for Lafreniere as he enters the zone. Poked away there by Ryan Graves. He's been a nice defensive addition there from the trade deadline, as Askarov will freeze that. 1:40 left here in the first. So now it'll be Scheifele against Hedl, as the Whalers do win that one off the tie-up. Landeskog twirls away from a defender there. That's Sharangovich giving chase, as Landeskog still with it. Again, will twirl away from man and finally gives that off, as that's now Ivan Provorov. He's hit off the puck, picked up by Scheifele in front for Zadina, and he scores. Great feed there from Scheifele. Zadina able to handle it and finishes with the defender right on him. But Zadina has been an absolute firecracker this season. Signed a 4-year extension this past offseason, and he's hitting career highs across the board. Now his 25th goal of the season. His 5th year with the Whalers. Our expansion pick from Detroit, as he ends up in the back of the net along with the goal. But tape to tape there, you see Mark Scheifele now 44 assists for him in his 3rd season, or I think his 4th season now with the Whalers, although we might have to extend him this upcoming offseason. But before we get there, we're going to enjoy the end of this Year 5 season. Our Whalers absolutely buzzing into this matchup with the New York Rangers. We tie it up here with 34.6 left in the first period, as we get another face-off win. Provorov also on an assist. Another good feed for Zadina, and he tried to do it right again. Another deke that time, but stopped on the forehand was Jet Greaves, able to get the blocker in front, and now LeBlanc, a late chance here. Back for Panarin, a rip, and Askarov will glove that. Now 0.8 seconds remaining here in this first quarter. A lot of action here in the final seconds, but most importantly, our Whalers able to tie it up. Lafreniere had that earlier goal for the Rangers, and now Zadina ties it up just in the final seconds as that will bring us now into the second period. Definitely have the playoff atmosphere going on here. A bitter division rivalry going on here also with the Hartford Whalers and New York Rangers. A beautiful goal there from Zadina on a good feed from Mark Scheifele. And the Rangers had all the shots early on. We went on a nice run there, and we also won the face-off circle that time, 13-3. As we'll try and keep that going. Could be instrumental as we try to take control here in the final two periods. Mark Scheifele on the draw against Mika Zibanejad. Again, Scheifele on the advantage as Montour gives for Zadina, but tried another pass there, picked off by Zibanejad, as he'll be taken over there by Montour. Montour finds some space, evades a couple defenders, and now a rush here for the Whalers. Zadina showing some good hands, but ultimately nothing doing as he turns that over for Keandre Miller, as LeBlanc now finding some space, but hit off the puck. A big hit there, and I think that was Gabriel Landeskog, as Scheifele now over for Zadina, and he couldn't get a shot off. Good defense there by Miller. Back for Scheifele, now a shot, as Greaves able to block that with the pad, and now Fox gives for LeBlanc, now for Panarin. Montour able to take that one over, as a nice feed up the boards for Scheifele now. And so he'll dump that into the corner, and he hits Adam Fox down to the ice. You'll love to see that. And now behind the net, Scheifele tried to get Landeskog in front, but I think that hit off the side of the netting. And now Lafreniere powering into the zone as he gives that up for Leo Carlsson. And that one tried to hit Brock Besser, and that one went astray, icing on the play. We will be able to get our fresh second line out there, as this first line for New York a little bit tired now. Brian Rust will give over for Sami Maki now for Montour. Montour now back for Brian Rust. Brian Rust is not able to squeeze in as the 18-year-old youngster there. Matthias Smid able to take that one over now into the zone. Peels back and then hit as he does get that for Lafreniere behind the net. Now back to the point, and that one missed his intended target as that goes all the way back. Going to be recollected now by Sharon Govich. He gives up for Philip Hedel. Good hit there in the neutral zone as Hartford is able to get possession. Brock Besser was then hit, but Montour there to pick it up, now being held up against the boards. Going back into Whalers territory, but Montour gives now for Jack Rozovic over for Mangiapane. The captain here for the Whalers, our leading goal scorer on the power play this season. I think 25 goals for him now, as Rozovic can't squeeze into the zone. Good defensive play there by Lindgren, standing his ground there at the blue line, but now Blake Lizotte will dump that in. That will go for Andrew Peeke, though, as he turns it over for Lizotte. Now on the side of the net is Trocheck in front, and that was not a good effort there by Pierre Engvall. I think a weak attempt there on the one-timer. Had a wide open net to work with, and again we avert the crisis as Mangiapane there, a big hit against the boards in front for Tom Wilson. Good save by Jet Greaves. As a penalty that time, boarding is going to be the call on Braden Schneider, which brings Hartford back to the power play. Mangiapane was rocked that time, but boarding is the call. 12:24 left in this second period. Tie up there as be picked up by Carlson. Back to the point for Besser. He can't get the shot off, and Trocheck able to get that one out of the zone. Although Besser does get it back, gives over for Landeskog. Landeskog twirls away there from Miller and dumps that in for Scheifele. Now in front, Mark Scheifele, a shot, glove save by Greaves. Prime real estate, but Scheifele could not finish. Offensive zone face-off now to the right of Greaves. 16-3 advantage for Hartford. Now make it 16-4. Fox there gives for Lazar, as they do take that out of the zone. But great play there defensively at the blue line. And now Miller able to get the clear as Trocheck catches that in the neutral zone. But Besser able to take it up, gives for Landeskog, and he's hit out of the zone to the ice. But Hartford picks it up. Carlson tried a long stretch pass there, intercepted. As again the Rangers cleared the zone. But Trocheck, as that was a nice poke check there by Zadina. But Trocheck keeps possession. And he does lose it that time, though, off a decent hit there from Zadina's Carlson. A good feed, and now a rush here for the Whalers. Zadina in on the net. Zadina, a shot, kick saved by Greaves, picked up by Landeskog. Now behind the net is Scheifele, as he gives that back to the blue line, but kicked back for Landeskog, as Zibanejad turns it over in front for Scheifele off a one-timer. Another good save there by Jet Greaves. He's been on his A-game since giving up that goal. Now Landeskog, good feed for Peeke. In front now for Sillinger, a shot, and that goes wide. Landeskog still out there. Definitely need to get him a line change, as the Rangers finally do clear the zone now into the Hartford territory, as Provorov picks off Mika Zibanejad there in front of the net. Provorov now for Peeke for Sillinger, as he's trying to find some space, but really nothing on that side of the ice. Parola now hit off the puck by Trouba, as he turns that over for Guryanov at the logo, as he peels back and now enters the zone. Guryanov loses it for Lafreniere, who gives now for Sharon Govich. A good hit there by Andrew Peeke, although Lafreniere picks it up, and then he's hit to the ice as Hartford is getting physical here. Jacob Perreault on the hit that time. Now behind the net is Sharangovich. Back to the blue line for Schneider, who takes that in. Back for Sharangovich as Andrew Peak does pick that off now for Guryanov. He gives for Provorov. A lot of action here as Provorov will dump that in. At least non-stop action, I should say. As Trouba lugging that up past center ice. Although going to be pickpocketed by Jack Rozovic, as he's just been a locomotive here in the second half of this Year 5 season. Just following the puck wherever it goes, and oftentimes makes good things happen. As now a rush for New York. Zibanejad shot was blocked. Picked up by Panarin as Zibanejad back for it. Hit off as LeBlanc will get that for Lindgren. And he enters the zone into the slot there. And I think his shot was deflected away. And now picked up by Ryan Graves as he's able to keep possession. As he does feed that up for Mangiapane. Poked away, picked up by Rozovic now into the zone. Rozovic, a shot there from the corner. And that was just paddled away by Jet Greaves. Now Mason Shaw with it. As he gives over for Bachvist. And he turns that over in front of the net as Askarov will freeze it. 6 second period shots for the Whalers, 0 for the Rangers through the first 14 minutes plus. Brandon Montour now along the boards into the zone. Try to pass for Besser. He couldn't handle it. Although he does get it back now in front for Rust. In front, loose puck. And that was poked away just enough by Greaves. And the Rangers able to get that out of harm's way. Now Mason Shaw towards the net. Picked off there by Sami Maki. Backhand pass for Rust. Brian Rust, 12 points in 12 games since being acquired at the trade deadline, which does include a hat trick a few games back against the Wild. And now Besser in front for Carlson, a shot. And Jack Greaves awaiting that one. 2:13 left in the second. Still no shots on goal in this period for the Rangers. Lindgren will take that now up for Pierre Engvall. Less than 2 minutes here in the second period. Dumps that in. And it'll be picked up by Montour. Montour kicks that, but ends up for Lazat. And now up for Trouba in the slot for Trocheck. And he couldn't really find any space there in congestion. Maki now up for Brian Rust, and they take that out of the zone into the final minute now of the second period. Rust towards the net, finds some space, but Trocheck picks up the loose puck now up for Lazat. Over for Schneider now and on a rush. And see, he can't handle that. And Montour turns that over at the logo. Now into the final 10 seconds. That one goes astray. And that might just do it here in the second period. Loose puck into the corner. As we are going to be all knotted up here. No scoring in the second period. We got one late in the first. And, really controlled time of possession, time on attack. All the shots in this period. We're owning the face-off circle, but we're not owning the scoreboard right now. Still 1-1 after 2. We outshot them, I think, 7-0 and won the face-off circle. I think that was like 5-1 that period. But still 1-1 here on the scoreboard as big playoff implications on the line. Potentially home ice is on the line in this one. But I mean, still a few games left, but this one a huge swing, especially if we're able to win it cleanly. As a great chance off the rip there from Panarin. I was kind of just caught observing there for a second, went quiet as Panarin shot out of a cannon, and that shot, the puck, was even faster than that. His 21st of the year, only 28 seconds into this third period. They had no shots in the entirety of the second period, and it did not take long to muster up their first here in the third. And not only that, they take the lead as that one again beats the glove of Askarov. We'll do it again here. Center ice face-off as the Whalers now this time in on the rush. Although Montour does turn that over. Zibanejad gives for Panarin. As Panarin still with it despite being pestered by Montour, but tried a centering pass there in the deep slot towards the blue line. And it was picked off as now Sami Maki leading the rush for the Whalers. Back now for Landeskog, back for Maki. As he loses the handle into the corner, picked up by Scheifele. Battling there along with Adam Fox. Philip Zadina offering some support as we do end up with it. Landeskog back for Montour at the blue line, blocked by Zadina. And now back for Montour in front for Scheifele to the corner. And so give back for Montour. Montour now for Scheifele, back for Maki in front for Scheifele. And he couldn't really get anything going. And then there was a little loose puck there on the side, but Landeskog could not finish. And now Scheifele tried a centering pass there, and that was intercepted as Rangers do get that out of harm's way. Nothing to show for that chance there, close to the net. As now Panarin towards the net, battling through contact, gets a shot off, saved by Askarov. Another face-off here to the right of Askarov as we do get the win that time. Carlson imposing his man off the draw there. Maki now into the zone as he stalled out and then was hit by Sharangovich, who uses his body to create leverage there, takes the puck, gives for Lafreniere, who leads it in, and his shot was deflected into the corner, picked up by Hedel. as he gives that back for Lindgren coming off the bench, but he could not keep that in the zone offside. 20 hits to 18 advantage Whalers, as we're winning pretty much every category on the stat sheet except where it matters most. 2-1 here from the XL Center now, over 5 minutes into this third period. Hedl forces a turnover there, a quick shot in front. Good save by Askarov, as Carlson will give that for Provorov. Provorov, good feed there for Brian Rust. A little rush here for the Whalers. Brian Rust in front, and he was hit down to the ice. Good defense by Lindgren, I believe that was. And now Hedl takes that in for the Rangers. Hit off the puck. Good play there as Provorov, a long pass for Mangiapane, and Engvall able to keep that one for the Rangers, keep that out of the offensive zone there. And now Hedl back with it, and he'll feed over for Trocheck. Trocheck behind his own net, and this will be held up now by Tom Wilson. Loose puck, or fighting for the puck there, as Tom Wilson finally gets up with it into the slot. There's Andrew Peeke. He comes out of nowhere. Only his 5th goal of the season. Tremendous effort from Tom Wilson on the forecheck there. Just, slow and steady there against the boards. Just waiting for that puck to get free. And he ends up getting it. Andrew Peeke, good eyes that time too. Creeping up from the blue line. An opportune spot. And on the screen there was Jack Rozovic kind of bodying it up there with Hedl. And as I said, battling in the corner, Tom Wilson ends up with it. And Andrew Peeke, the beneficiary there, not who you expect to score goals, as now his 5th of the season. Andrew Mangiapane also a secondary assist there, I suppose, as he's now up to 55 points on the season. And again, we're knotted up here. 12:29 now remaining in regulation. Andrew Peeke now off the draw for Rozovic, over for Mangiapane. That same line still out here. Mangiapane, a quick shot, and that's handled by Greaves. Face off now to the right of Jet Greaves, as we do not get the possession off the tie-up there. Trocheck will now give over for Pierre Engvall. Now for Lindgren. Lindgren trying to work that into the zone, overtaken by Mangiapane, who evades a guy coming downhill there on the hit. As he's still with it now for Tom Wilson, a shot from deep, and that's handled again by Greaves. 4th line out there for Hartford, 11:04 remaining in regulation. Sillinger back for Provorov, now for Peeke, trying to get number 2 here, as Gurionov hit down to the ice by Fox, as Fox gives for Lizotte. Blake Lizotte now leading a charge for the Rangers. Back for Fox, and that's intercepted by Gurionov. And so lead it now back the other way for the Whalers. Dumps it in as he's giving chase. Adam Fox there behind the net as he does end up with possession. And he'll get that up the boards for Jesper Bachfist, the Rangers addition at the trade deadline. Now Keandre Miller into the zone. Into the corner now, centering pass there, as that was stopped by Askarov. Still loose puck in front, and that's going to be a slashing penalty against Bachfist in front. I thought that was going to be on us, trying to be a little bit desperate there on defense with the loose puck. And Jesper Bachfist heads to the box, so that's now 3 penalties for the Rangers, 0 for our Whalers. And I mean, we are usually a very disciplined team, but you like to see that even out at least somewhat, as I didn't even really see that happen there. Maybe it was early on. I was kind of had my eyes on the puck in that instance. As again, we do head to the power play. 0 for 2 so far. 4 shots on those 2 power plays. We need to get something going here late and take this late lead. A clear attempt goes for not there. Off the faceoff is Besser, a long pass, and that'll be Matthias Smid who gives for Lazar. Lazar does dump that in, as the Rangers already killed off about a quarter of this power play. And now less than 1:30 remaining, as Lazar will take that in towards the net. Now Lazar shot. Loose puck in front. That was almost a great rebound chance, but Trocheck just overskated a little bit. Now Whalers go back the other way. Landeskog towards the net. In front for Scheifele. A good feed, a good shot, but a better save by Greaves. Back to the point now. Zadina a rip. That was almost deflected in front by Landeskog. Back to the point. Zadina for Besser, and he cannot handle that, but they do keep it in. Zadina now from the slot. Too much traffic in front, as that lands on the stick of Smid, and he does get the clear. Some good chances there. Now 30 seconds left on this power play. Zadina for Carlson, now for Besser, as he gives for Scheifele, and too aggressive that time, a little too eager, as we had a nice rush developing there, but just a step too early as we went offside. And we will get the change now to that second power play unit with 23 seconds remaining. Rozovic wins that for Montour, who gives over now for Mangiapane. Mangiapane still with it in the slot now, creeping towards the net. And he got a shot off, and Greaves was able to cut that off. Kind of trickled back 5-hole, but was able to get the glove back there and stop it before it went past the line. Now just 8 seconds remaining as they do win the draw. And that will be the clear, and that will do it on the power plays. Out of the box comes Jesper Bachfist. Whalers with possession, though. As that's Rozovic back for Montour. Over now for Mangiapane. Andrew Mangiapane tried to dangle there, but Lafreniere able to close it off as he'll take that back the other way. Lafreniere a shot as Askarov, again, his rebound control hasn't been all that great. Some second chances that could be avoided have been happening. And another penalty there, just you don't need to do that. Even, rooting for the Hartford Whalers in this one, of course. I don't like all these penalties, how it's so one-sided. And that's Philip Hedl, a hook, a blatant one right in front of the referee, right in front of the box there. As again, we'll go back to the power play. Now, if we can't score on this one, we really don't deserve to win this game. Just over 5 minutes left in regulation as we do force the turnover there, keep it in the zone. Zadina now, but Besser a shot. And that's a loose puck behind Greaves, and that just goes behind him. It was bouncing up in the air. He didn't know where it was, and it was behind him the entire time. Brock Besser, just a long-range fadeaway, essentially, from a pretty much deep range. His 22nd of the season, that one on the power play. We needed a power play goal there, and you see Jet Greaves just did not know where it was. It bounced up high in the air, and eventually, hit the back into the net. And, that does happen every once in a while to a goaltender, but a pivotal spot here in a pivotal game. And the Whalers now leading 3-2 as Zibanejad wins that faceoff. Much needed win there from the Rangers as Fox will take that in now for LeBlanc. As he's hit off by Scheifele, Keandre Miller does keep it in though over for Panarin. In front for Zibanejad, could not get a clean shot off. Less than 5 minutes now in regulation. Zibanejad still with it, back for Fox, a rip, and that's blocked by Gabriel Landeskog. Selfless play there. Now Miller for LeBlanc, back for Zibanejad for Panarin, back for Miller, back for Zibanejad, and now Panarin for Fox. A tight angle there, saved by Askarov, as now Scheifele being held up against the boards. Picked up now by Maki, and he'll get that for Zadina. We need to get it out here, as Zadina was hit down to the ice. Thought they were going to call another penalty. I'm glad they didn't, as Landeskog gives for Scheifele. He is desperately tired here, desperately needs a change, as we finally do get it into the Rangers zone, although give it right back promptly. And now Panarin able to win possession there in the neutral zone. Rush was developing there, but good recovery by Sami Maki, as now Sharon Govich off the bench, a shot in front. Pad save by Askarov, and we are able to conceal the rebound that time. We do get it out. Besser for Leo Carlson. A lot of time there in the offensive zone for the Rangers, and some more to come here as Philip Hedl leading the charge, although Brian Rust able to take that off a good Brock Besser hit, as he is now with it. Brock Besser now into the zone. Less than 1 minute left in regulation here from the XL Center. High stakes game, high playoff environment going on here in a 3-2 matchup. Good hit there in the neutral zone, although Sharon Govich will give for Philip Hedl. Empty net as they do pull the goalie. Extra attacker now on the ice for the Rangers as Carlson will give for Peak. Andrew Peak already a goal in this one. He will fire towards the empty net, but that was blocked by Fox as the Rangers do get possession back. Sharon Govich now over for Panarin. Dangerous as he works past a few defenders, although hit from Mangiapane. Lindgren with possession now. Lindgren towards the front of the net, back for Smid, and now for Engvall on the side. As really no quality there on that attempt. Back to the point though for Smid, a rip, and that was saved by Askarov. That got through everybody somehow as Mangiapane takes it out of harm's way. He gives up for now for Tom Wilson, a shot, and he buries it on the empty net. He generated a great chance earlier on that second or the third goal. I think it was the second goal where he was just fighting in the corner and was able to get that out for someone in front of the net, which led to a goal, and this time bearing one of his own insurance here, as this was a great game from the XL Center. Definitely had playoff atmosphere, playoff vibes, and this is very much what we could be seeing in the playoffs in round one this season, as we're neck and neck with the Rangers. Unless they get passed by the Hurricanes in that third seed, then I don't see a way we don't play the Rangers in the first round, although that is assuming we are able to capture that second seed behind the Islanders. But that is now done here. The clock is now hit 0 as our Hartford Whalers, a huge victory late in the season. We now have swept the season series over the New York Rangers 3-0. We won 2-1 going back earlier in the season, 3-0 in our last matchup, and now in this one 4-2, as hopefully that is what's to come in a playoff series. Hopefully we can get 3 straight wins or even win the series at a score of 4-2. And of course, as we do, going to pay tribute to the home fans, and maybe our biggest win here in the late push of this season, as a few good goals there. Peak, that one was great off that feed from Wilson. Askarov, a few big saves in this one, but our defense hung up very strong in this one, limiting their shots as we took it 4-2. The third star's Andrew Mangiapane, 2 assists, 1 hit, as we did outshoot them 23-18. This one out hit them 28-27. The second star, Philip Zadina, 1 goal, 1 assist, and 3 hits. Time on attack, though, did belong to the Rangers at 27 seconds more than us. And the first star in this game, Tom Wilson, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 hits, and he had a great effort there on the forecheck earlier in this game. With that win, we've now hit 100 points here on this Year 5 season, currently 3rd in the Eastern Conference behind the Islanders and the Florida Panthers, and we're now 2nd in the Metro Division, still now 4 points up on the Rangers with 6 games left in this Year 5 season. So now in a back-to-back, we have a road game here against the St. Louis Blues. We'll see if they keep Askarov in for this one. Probably going to put Tarasov in, I would think. After the first period, we are leading 2-1, and they did put Tarasov in. Our first goal here from Ryan Graves as a member of the Whalers. He got it going just over a minute and a half into this game. Jacob Perreault gets another one on Zarenko, but then Zachary Bolduc, a late one, made it 2-1. And after the second period, we're still leading here 3-2. Guryanov on the power play. He spent last season in St. Louis, so a goal against his former team. And Rob Thomas there a few minutes later. So we will live sim the rest of this third period, see if we can hang on down the stretch against St. Louis, which pretty much has been a bottom dweller over the course of this franchise. Definitely, mainly in a rebuild. And hopefully, in a few years for them, they're on the come up. But now over 10 minutes into this third period, as we are hanging on strong, and we get another goal there from Cole Sillinger. So that's 3 goals in this game from players on our 4th line. You love to see that. And also Ryan Graves had one as well, his first goal as a member of our Hartford Whalers, and we do take the win here. So a great start to the episode. Of course, that win against the Rangers was even bigger, had bigger playoff implications. Cole Sillinger, 2 points in this one, was the first star. Daniil Tarasov, 27 saves on 29 shots, and Guryanov, a goal. He was the 3rd star. So now with that, we're up to 48, 23, and 6. And just 5 games now left in this Year 5 season. Like I'm saying, if we just stand pat here in this 2nd seed through the remainder of this episode, we might just rip through the remainder here, and we will just get a standings check here in the final 5 games, see what's at stake for all these other teams. We're going to play the Dallas Stars, I saw here up next. And our Metro Division pretty much all settled. Of course, we're at number 2. The Islanders have already clinched pretty much the President's Trophy this season. The Rangers at 98 points behind us, and then Hurricanes, we both have a game up on them. They're at 96 points, probably in that 4th seed. They've already clinched. So I think they're going to play the Florida Panthers, and then whoever gets this last wild card spot. It comes down to the Devils at 87 points, the Flyers at 86, the Blue Jackets, Penguins, and Capitals out. I think the Capitals are in line for the best lottery odds. They're at the number 1 pick this upcoming summer. So the Flyers also a game out on the Devils with 4 remaining compared to the New Jersey's 5 remaining, but they are 1 point down going over to the Atlantic now. I think they're vying for one of those wild card spots, as well as the Detroit Red Wings now just 1 point out of one of those wild card spots against the Devils, and the Senators a little behind them lurking. We do play them here shortly, and it looks like Tampa Bay is locked in for that 3rd seed. Now going over to the Western Conference, I saw the Central Division. All of these teams are really still in play. The top 4 here pretty much settled. Dallas is already clinched. We're going to play them up next, but this 5th spot, the final wild card spot, realistically, all these teams are still in play. The Predators and Jets here at 78 points, just 4 games out, but the Blues at 82 points, still 5 games to play. Everyone behind them at 4. So actually that win over the Blues was pretty big, even though they're still barely in a wild card spot to this point. And the Western Conference, even though it's had every single Stanley Cup champion so far over the course of this franchise, it's just so weak. You see our Metro Division, I think like every team that we had would win the Central this year, but now here at Dallas, and of course they do have now Cale Makar. He was a big free agent signing over the offseason. A little 3-game road trip right here starting in Dallas, as after the first period we are down 1-0. Michael Misa on the power play, last year's Calder Trophy Award winner. And we scored 4 there in the second period. Rozovic got it going 50 seconds in. Montour on the power play. Gabriel Landeskog a couple minutes later. And then Denis Guryanov against the team that drafted him, I believe. He scores with 16 seconds as Jake Ottinger was pulled in this one. They went to Connor Ingram. And now after the third period, we win 5-2. We got another goal there on the empty net from Sami Maki. Redmond got one there for Dallas. So a 3-0 start now to start this episode. Pretty much solidifying our spot as the 2nd seed in the Metro. Landeskog, the first star against the team he knows very well after all his years in Colorado. Yaroslav Askarov, the 2nd star, and Mark Scheifele, a couple assists. He was the 3rd star. As we'll now move on to Ottawa, as we now the 2nd game on this road trip. We're now up to 104 points, now 5 ahead of New York. And we'll see if they put Tarasov in after another back-to-back. They did it last time, although we probably need to get Askarov more conditioned here going into the postseason. We give up 2 there, and Tarasov is in net. Jacob Chychrun and also Morgan Geekie, a late one there in the final 2 minutes. And now 4-2. We tied it up early. Leo Carlson, Landeskog, but then Formanton, then Brady Tkachuk on the power play as we sim this third period. And we fall 4-3. We got a late one there from Brian Rust, but too little too late as we drop this one. The first star was Tkachuk, 2nd star Brian Rust with 2 points, and Morgan Geekie, the 3rd star, as we're now 3-1 in this episode with just 3 games remaining. Still 5 points up on the Rangers. although they still have 4 games to play compared to our 3. Olivier Rodrigue there on waivers, no thank you. And also our AHL team is also rolling right now, so they're set for another postseason run. They're currently 1 point out of actually winning their division down there at the AHL level, and the Rangers actually did win their last game, so 3 games left, 3 points up on them. And our toughest test here in the final 3 as we're visiting the Florida Panthers. They come in with 52 wins atop the Atlantic Division, a favorite here to reach the Eastern Conference Finals this year. After the first period, we're trailing 2-0 goals by Amadio and also Matthew Tkachuk. Those within about 2 minutes of each other after the second. Still 2-0, no scoring there. And after the third period, we do tie it up, so at least we get a point. That is very important here down the stretch as Carlson, Mangiapane, Mark Scheifele netted 3 straight goals to give us the lead, actually. But with 3 seconds left, Carter Verhaeghe nets one there. 3 seconds left on the clock, and he was able to tie it up here for the Panthers. So we will sim this overtime here in real time. We'll probably go by quickly unless we do reach a shootout here. Now less than 2 minutes remaining. 3-3 here from Florida as we do reach a shootout, and we will sim that as we do not get the victory. A lot of scoring in this shootout. Tkachuk, Verhaeghe, and Anton Lundell essentially gets the game winner there in that shootout as we fall 4-3, but we definitely will take the point here. We'll see how the Rangers did in their next game as we now sim ahead to the Kraken. And we mentioned the Capitals are like the worst team in the league right now, the favorite to land the number 1 overall pick, but the Kraken are right there with them. The Capitals right now with 60 points, the Kraken with 61. So they're pretty much tanking, and the Rangers did win again, so they actually make up a point there. So now 2 games left, we're only 2 points up on them. A big one here against Seattle. We really need to win this one, I think. Definitely a game we should win. The Kraken, like I said, the worst team in the Western Conference. We are up 2-1 after 1. Filip Zadina and Leo Carlsson, the first 2 goal scorers until Valtolainen got one there with 1:05 left in the period. Now after 2, it's still a 2-1 game, only 11 shots on goal for Seattle. So we will now sim this third period in real time, and right away Capo Kakko netted one with 21 seconds in, but then 37 seconds after that, Filip Zadina put us back on top, but now Height ties it back up here for the Kraken. 3 goals here in the first 5:05 as it's knotted up here from the XL Center. Pretty much a must-win game here for the Whalers to clinch that second seed in the Metro. Now less than 1 minute left here in regulation as we do get overtime here. So only 20 shots on net here for Seattle so far in game 81 now of this year 5 season. We will jump into this overtime period. Our last game looming against the Winnipeg Jets. That one also on home ice. So at least we do get another point in this one as we're here for the opening face-off here in overtime. That's Yulf Hedin, I think the 3rd overall pick from our year 2 offseason. That would be the 2025 NHL draft, as he's now emerged as one of the best players here on the Kraken in their rebuild. Scheifele right towards the net as he cannot get a clean shot off. Carlson now back for Scheifele. Back for Carlson now finding some space as he'll peel back, loses possession. That's Vince Dunn that loses the handle. Now Carlson for Scheifele, back to Carlson, forehand, and that's a glove save robbery by Logan Thompson as he snagged that one. Carlson thought he had an easy goal right there. And a breakout year here for Carlson now into his 5th season as Adina a goal in this one. Now 27 puts him 3rd on the leaderboard as Rust and Mangiapane tied at the top. Again, Hedin and Scheifele in on the draw. Scheifele wins that back from Montour. That one was blocked in front by Carlson. Now back from Montour as he does find some space now in front of the net. A shot weak side as Thompson able to freeze that one up. I think a win here pretty much clinched the 2nd seed. We still do get a point, so it might come down to game 82 unless we can get the game winner here. Hedin does win that drawback for Vince Dunn, and so he'll take that up. The Kraken now trying to get into the zone for the first time, but Carlson able to snatch that up, and now leading a rush. Leo Carlson 2-0 now for Hartford. Scheifele forehand, and that's blocked away by Thompson. Ripped far boards as Scheifele tries to get that back for Carlson, but can't, as now Yulf Hedin will give that for Vince Dunn. He loses possession there in the neutral zone as Montour now all alone, standing there at the blue line. Montour on the net, and he scores on the triple deke there, his 2nd overtime winner of the season. And with that, I think it's safe to say our Whalers clinched the 2nd seed in the Metro Division, set for a matchup against the New York Rangers. And hopefully we can replicate the results we've seen earlier in the episode and over the course of this season. And that's win number 50 for our Whalers, the first time we've eclipsed that number over the course of this franchise so far. Definitely, it's been a long, strenuous road, but we're reaping the rewards now here into year 5. And it looks like Montour there, punched Thompson in the face. We might get another look at this. He was just celebrating, but the way it played out, Thompson was there, on the ground, And Montour goes for the punch there in celebration, as that might have been blocked there by the defender. But anyway, what a game here from the XL Center. One more game to go here in this Year 5 season. Montour just all over Thompson there. And winding up for the punch. And there it is. He just punches him in the face. I love how the replay was just elongated and slowed down for that. But as we do, we're going to pay tribute to our home fans. Victory number 50. And that might be good enough to clinch number 2 in the Metro. We take it here in overtime from the XL Center as Brandon Montour nets the game winner there 4-3. So with that, we're now 4 points up on the Rangers. They still do have 2 more games left to play. We'll sim ahead and see if they reach game 81 as we're now here into the final game of the regular season. And they did win, so we're both at 50 wins, which means we either need an outright loss there from the Rangers or we just need to take the Winnipeg Jets here into post-regulation play for a 3rd straight game. Mark Scheifele's former team here, so we will simulate maybe jump into the 3rd period depending on how things are looking. The Jets have won 7 of their last 10 games and just missed a playoff spot by a couple points there for that final wild card spot. After 1 no score, they do outshoot us 14-5. You do not like to see that after 2. Still scoreless here, 23 shots to 21. So we did get the majority there in that 3rd period. But scoreless here entering the 3rd period in game 82, the season finale here in Year 5. We will jump into this one. It's worth noting that Connor Hellebuyck, of course, their X-Factor goaltender, is out in this one. He's missed about half the season, which, of course, you can point to a reason why the Jets just barely missed out on a playoff spot. But Patrice Bergeron is still kicking here in this franchise. Now on his 3rd team. He started with the Ducks, went to Arizona for a couple of years, and now here his 2nd season with Winnipeg. And now Mark Scheifele off the initial face-off, a good one-timer developed there for Landeskog, and Kevin Lankinen able to stop that one. And pretty much every playoff spot has been settled besides, our 2nd spot here in the Metro. Like I said, if we are able to take this post-regulation, that does clinch the 2nd seed. And now Morrissey over for Neil Pionk. He's hit down to the ice by Sami Maki, denied zone entry as Maki a feed there for Landeskog towards the net. Landeskog now for Maki, a shot, rebound in front, and Philip Zadina buries that one. Or that might have ricocheted actually off Gabriel Landeskog as we developed a quick chance here in the 3rd period, and we bury the quick goal to jump ahead 1-0. 25th goal of the season for Landeskog. And going back even a couple episodes ago, we jumped into a 3rd period game against his former team, the Colorado Avalanche, and he delivered a goal in a 0-0 game. He delivered a late 3rd period goal to make it 1-0, which he does here again. And we'll take another look here off the rebound. Philip Zadina had the shot, but Landeskog able to put the stick in front and kind of steal it, as he's now knotted up with Leo Carlsson, each of them 25 goals on the season. So just a minute 22 into this 3rd period, we jump ahead 1-0. Zadina and Sami Maki on the assists, as Pionk there gives for Sonny Milano. Milano now wheeling in towards the net. A shot there off a great centering pass. And look at the glove there from Yaroslav Askarov. Patrice Bergeron trying to net another one, but he could not get it that time. And now a face-off here in the defensive zone. This time to the right of Askarov. The top line still out there for Hartford. Bergeron against Scheifele. And advantage this time goes to Bergeron, which it often does there in the face-off circle. Block shot there from Milano, as Landeskog has been great giving up the body so far this season. Bergeron now tried to pass there and picked off by Scheifele, as Landeskog leading the charge now the other way. Fighting there past Morrissey as Scheifele ends up with it. Spins away from man out in front for Zadina and could not get the shot off as Morrissey knocks him down, and Lankinen does play it out to him, who now gives up to Milano, being pestered there by Maki, as he eventually gives for Morrissey now. Morrissey back from Milano, a rip there from the point. A fiery shot that time from Milano from deep, but Askarov flashing the leather. And I was thinking about it, how is it that our Whalers, if we do follow suit here and end up with the victory, will end up with 109 points and still playing a team, the Rangers, that ended with like 105 at least? Like, how does that end up being our luck? That's just a tough Metro division for you, as Carlson forces the turnover in front now. Bounce pass back for Rust, but Winnipeg does take that over. Jordan Eberle will lead the charge, knocked off there by Besser, as Rust will take that off a pass from Maki. Brian Rust now up to, I think, 20 points in 13 games with the Whalers, something like that. Crazy numbers he's been posting since being traded. And now Ehlers in on a rush, centering pass there behind Eberle. Now Roy picks it up, and Askarov slams the door. And not 20 points in 13 games for Rust. It was more like 17 points, and at this point would be 19 games. And now Peak. Still with it is Andrew Peak. Past center ice now into the zone. He had a goal, of course, in that game against the Rangers. Good pass there for Besser. Now back to the point for Provorov. Some space to work with. In on net. A shot saved by Lankinen. Jack Roslovic now out there against Coyle. As Roslovic wins that Peak, a shot goes wide. Now Provorov for Tom Wilson in front. A shot rebound. Racco Gudis will give for Heinola. And now for Balcers. Now for Graham Clark, the former Hartford Whaler. Graham Clark now in front for Balcers, and they score. That's Graham Clark, the revenge assist. As now he's on his third team in 2 seasons. We traded him to Columbus, and they since have traded him in season to the Jets. Now I think his 5th point now. He had 2 goals, 2 assists coming into this one in like 14, 18 games. And now he sets up Balcers now on this one. A tie hockey game here from the XL Center late in the 3rd period. 12:37 left here in regulation. If we can hold out and just, creep into overtime, we'll still get that 2nd seed, but not much of a benefit, as we're going to have to play the Rangers either way. But of course, that'll give us Game 7 on home ice if it were to reach that point. Now some good puck movement here from Winnipeg, as Hartford does finally deny that. That'll be dumped in by Roslovic, picked up by Heinola. Now for Balcers, fresh off that goal. Now gives for Clark, the former expansion pick for us from the New Jersey Devils, as Balcers in on that again. A pass there, as how does that not end up in the back of the net? I can't believe it. Balcers again in on the chance generation, and I cannot believe that one did not creep past Askarov. He's able to get the glove back there and stop it. Now the top line's back out there. 10:50 left in regulation. Again, Bergeron the win. Morrissey couldn't get the shot off, as Provorov will take it back the other way now. Provorov tried to pass for Zadina, picked off by Kyle Connor, who has 40 goals this season. The 2nd time he's eclipsed that mark over the course of this franchise. Now Pionk leading the charge. Pionk in on net, poked away. Good defensive play there from Andrew Peak. As now Landeskog lugging it up. He'll stop, gives now over for Ryan Graves, and a poor pass that time, as he does end up back with it. Ryan Graves had his first goal as a Whaler here in a recent game, of course, acquired him at the trade deadline. And now Winnipeg back the other way. Bergeron intercepted by Zadina, and now leading it back, but loses possession, and Kyle Connor will pick it up. Connor now up ice, gives over for Pionk. Up for Bergeron now, a chance for Winnipeg on a rush. Bergeron a shot, glove save by Askarov. 8:01 left. In the next episode, we're going to recap this Year 5 regular season, go over stats, point leaders, as Ehlers a chance off the face-off there, forced a turnover, and Askarov able to pick that one out of the air. As I was saying, though, we're going to review some stats, look at the league leaders, and preview the playoffs, and more importantly, our future opponent in the New York Rangers, as Karlsson wins that draw, but Winnipeg takes it back. Eberle cannot handle that one in front, knocked off the puck, as Rust now taking it back the other way. Brian Rust in on the charge. Behind the net now for Karlsson, in front for Besser. A backhand rip there, as Lankinen will stop that one. Karlsson now against Nicholas Roy, or is it Nicholas Waugh? I never know what to say. You just kind of go off Patrick Waugh when you pronounce that name in the NHL here. Eberle now for Ehlers. A shot, blockered in front. And that's going to be a delayed penalty now against Hartford. Critical time for that is a rip for Morrissey, blocked into the corner, as Karlsson will stop that one. Interference on Ryan Graves, one of our premier penalty killers there too, on the defensive position. 6:11 remaining. And now Sillinger out there on this penalty kill alongside Brian Rust, as Rust does take that. Winnipeg almost had a chance there in front, but could not handle it off the faceoff. Now less than 6 minutes in regulation. Pionk able to evade Brian Rust. He gives over for Morrissey now, and now up for Nicholas Roy. Roy into the zone patiently. Roy peeling, then overtaken by Sami Maki, but Charlie Coyle will try and get that back to the point for Morrissey, and that one escapes him all the way back to the other end. As Morrissey does finally get it, knocked to the ice by Cole Sillinger. He does have a short-handed goal this season. Duhaime now for Coyle. Coyle working towards the net, poked away by Maki, and Sillinger able to get that loose puck, and this penalty kill has been tremendous here. 45 seconds left on the power play for Winnipeg, less than 5 minutes in regulation. Pionk now for Roy, as he turns that over at the line. Does get it back, though, as Roy a shot, and that's paddled into the corner. Picked up by Morrissey now in front for Connor. You don't want him that close to the net, as Roy now with it. A shot on a tight angle. Askarov saves it. Fighting now in front is Maki and Morrissey, as Maki does win that battle and clears that up for Sillinger now. And with that, Hartford does kill the Winnipeg power play. A lot of chances there later on, as we did, force them to struggle on the zone entries, and they couldn't get anything going. Now Milano, though, as he's closed off, but does end up with it. Bergeron, a quick shot off a feed there from Milano, and Askarov gloves that. With a win here, Askarov would tie the franchise single-season record of 31 wins in a single season that he set last season. Bergeron back for Heinola now, as that's paddled away. And now back to the point for Heinola, and a shot there from the point as Kyle Connor off the deflection. That is not what we wanted to see happen. Kyle Connor to make it 41 goals. He didn't want to end with the even 40. He had to make it an odd number, and now just 3:08 remaining here, and we are on the verge of falling on home ice here. Depends what the Rangers do. Of course, if they lose, then we're sitting pretty, but if we are able to force another goal here, get another goal, and force overtime, we might surrender that second seed. The Jets have made it more interesting now, as we're kind of playing from behind. A little bit of desperation now, less than 3 minutes here in regulation. Gudis trying to go towards the net, and the centering pass was intercepted by Provorov, who gets it for Scheifele now for Landeskog as he dances towards the Winnipeg net. Trying to centering pass, but too much congestion as Heinola gets that for Bergeron. Now Bergeron will be pickpocketed by Peak. Less than 2 minutes now in regulation. Landeskog turns it over there for Bergeron as he can't handle that into the corner, picked up out by Provorov as he gives for Andrew Peak. Peak now for Scheifele. Mark Scheifele for Landeskog, and he couldn't handle that pass as Heinola now takes it, spins away from man, and now less than 1 minute remaining here in regulation. The final minute of regulation time here in this Year 5 regular season is Mark Scheifele trying to make something happen here late against his former team. Look at that persistence, but does not end up with it against the boards, but still chasing Milano there. Sonny Milano into the zone, still being pestered by Mark Scheifele, just chasing him all over the ice like a little gnat, as now Brian Rust will get it for Brock Besser. Besser turns that over at the blue line, and now Provorov in on the zone entry, as that will be turned over. I'm not sure why he stopped chasing, because we do pull the goalie now, and Winnipeg in on the empty net, but picked off again by Scheifele now for Brian Rust, and he can't get a shot off now behind the net. 20 seconds remaining. Scheifele in front, and that we can't get a shot off again. Backhand by Rust was saved. And now Nicholas Roy trying to get it out of harm's way. He gets that all the way over for Gudis. In on the empty net now for Eberle. Now for Ehlers a shot, and that will do it. As the Jets here, 3 unanswered goals. Now with just 8 seconds remaining. Ehlers his 28th of the season. I thought we had some magic brewing there in the final stages. Mark Scheifele, what a shift he had there, but not enough to amount in a goal. As the Jets here stun us late. We thought we were sitting pretty with a 1-0 lead, and even when it was 1-1, we're like, okay, we can settle for overtime, but Winnipeg had other plans, playing spoiler here, as we're going to have to rely on a Rangers loss now to keep that second seed intact. If you were to tell us that we would go 4-2-1 in this episode, beat the Rangers in regulation, and still not secure that second seed, I would have been, surprised at that, as the Jets here take the final game in this Year 5 regular season. Overall, it's definitely been a good episode, but we'll see how we fall, as our future is still not sealed. I mean, we know who we're playing, but we just don't know who's going to have the home ice advantage. But a good end to the Jets season still for us, even though it was a loss. We know we've had our best season so far in franchise history, hitting 50 wins, over 100 points, and finishing second in the Metro. But we fall here in game 82. A late surge there from the Jets made it 2-1, empty netter 3-1, as we fall here our final game at the XL Center. And to our delight, the New York Rangers actually lost in regulation, so it didn't even matter as we secured the second seed. We're going to have a playoff matchup here in the first round of the 2028 Stanley Cup Playoffs against the New York Rangers. Of course, a very tough team. We're definitely not entering that one thinking it's going to be easy, even though we did sweep the season series against them. The Islanders are going to host the New Jersey Devils, as they were able to pass the Philadelphia Flyers with a nice late season surge. The Hurricanes are going to play the top team here in the Atlantic, which are the Florida Panthers, and Toronto will play Tampa Bay. I feel like it's always the Lightning versus Maple Leafs in the first round. We're going to get that again this season. Now going over to the Western Conference, the Pacific was won by Edmonton, also the top seed here in the Western Conference this season, so they'll play the second wildcard team. It's going to be Ducks and Kings in the first round, and we'll see who the Oilers are playing. As we go over here to the Central now, the Edmonton Oilers are going to play the St. Louis Blues, who barely sneak into the playoffs, edging out the Jets by 3 points. And the Predators, Coyotes are right there as well, as we're also going to get Minnesota, Dallas, and Chicago, Colorado, as the Wild were our Stanley Cup champions in year 2. The Blackhawks were our Stanley Cup champions in year 3. The Oilers back in year 1, and the Ducks last season in year 4. So the past and every single Stanley Cup champion in this series so far is present in this year's Stanley Cup playoffs. But this is where I'm going to leave you folks. Thank you so much for watching. A very fun episode overall, and even more fun knowing that we ended up securing that second seed that we did have our sights set on. But a very tough matchup upcoming here against the New York Rangers in the first round, as we are happy to be back in the playoffs, our first time reaching the playoffs since year 2, as Claude Giroux, the leading points getter in the NHL this season with 108 at age 40, aging like a fine wine. Nikita Kucherov right behind him, and Braden Point at third, as this top line for Tampa Bay making up the top 3 players in points in the NHL this season. So hopefully we don't have to deal with the Tampa Bay Lightning at any point in this year's postseason. But next episode, we're going to preview the NHL playoffs, what to expect, who to look out for on our Whalers and the Rangers roster, other notable matchups, and we're also going to dig into the Year 5 regular season recap and look at the league leaders as we're kind of scrolling down the board here, check out award winners, and do all the fun pageantry stuff, the housekeeping, and officially put a bow on this Year 5 season. But as always, everybody, it's been real, and be well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.